Can you hear me?
Make sure they unmute it.
Ask me if you can hear
Right.
me. Ask me if you can hear me.
Good morning, Marshall. This is Charger Chat, and I'm Nate Ludwig, and this is Logan Landis, and we're here today with Officer Wood from the Marysville Police Department.
Thanks for having me.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
So, officer, when did you want to become a police officer?
Right around the age 18, 19, I ended up getting in contact with a sheriff's deputy who took the time to share with me what law enforcement is really about. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do in life. I got involved with the criminal justice program at Everett Community College, went on one ride along, and that did it for me.
So you kind of, right after high school, you just kind of you took the course at college, and then you just knew you wanted to do that?
Yeah, well, growing up, I actually hated the police. I actually hated law enforcement. I had really negative experiences with law enforcement. So when I got to see the other side and what it really was about, it really interests me. Some of the things that they had, K-9 units, SWAT teams. When I went on that ride along, I saw the need for law enforcement, and I thought, hey, you know what? I could probably do this job and be pretty good at it. So yeah, I got involved and looked into it further in college, and here I am.
That's kind of ironic. So you started out hating the job, and then somehow you ended up being an officer yourself.
Yeah, I think I kind of relied on what I saw from Hollywood, movies, the media, my own personal experience, my limited personal experience growing up. Some of the things that I was involved with probably weren't the best choices. So my contact with law enforcement was more on the negative side.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of failed to see the importance of law enforcement until I started to mature a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a quick question real quick. Did you do Snow Isle, like, for the law enforcement? Because I know there's a class at Snow Isle. It's for that.
Oh, you know, Snow Owl was kind of a mystery when I was in high school. It would have been a good career path for me just because by the time I had gotten to be a senior, I had most of my required courses and credits taken care of. And I ended up working a lot just to kind of earn some extra money.
So you took college courses to become a police officer. How long did it take for you to complete those courses and to actually become an officer? About how long was that?
Well, let's see. So I went to college full time, and then I also worked full time. So I ended up getting my 2-year degree, and then when I started testing right after that. So within about 2 years to get my degree, and then another 4 or 5 months. So probably 2.5 years, got my degree, and then I started testing with local police departments and got picked up at the age of 22.
Mm-hmm.
So
You've been a police officer for a while. What's your most favorite and least favorite parts about the job?
I think my favorite part about the job was the SWAT team. I spent 12 years on the SWAT team.
Wow.
So a lot of training, a lot of time at the range and working on defense tactics and things like that. That would probably be my favorite because that's the team that gets called when patrol needs help, and it's usually the last resort.
Mm-hmm.
So it's high intensity, lots and lots of training, and that really fit my personality at that time. So least favorite would be crimes against children or crimes against the elderly, having to investigate or deal with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
That would be pretty sad.
Yeah.
About the SWAT, did you have any interest in going into that part of law enforcement when you started taking courses in criminal justice?
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the things that really interested me because the SWAT team was always a mystery. Hollywood glamorizes them, makes them into quite the big heroes and that kind of thing. And yeah, it definitely interesting. Being part of a team, it was like that team camaraderie, almost like you get from sports kind of thing. Plus, the higher level of training, the more experience that you get with that, being on that team.
Mhm.
So I loved it. Yeah.
Is there anything? Do you still do stuff for the SWAT team as a police officer in Marysville, or how does that work?
I don't. I decided for personal and family reasons to stop doing it after 12 years. I mean, 12 years is a long
That's
time.
a long time, yeah.
And it's a lot of training, and mentally it's draining because it's not all excitement. So you could be at the range for 10, 12 hours working on drills, and everybody goes, "Oh, that's cool. I like to go shooting." Well, do you in the cold weather when it's pouring down rain and you're soaked and you don't have a choice? You know, not really. You know, and do I still do anything with the SWAT team? I don't. I have just been asked to be a bad guy or an actor because I know the team's tactics and that kind of thing. And so the only level I do with the SWAT team now is on that side of it, to help them any way that I can.
Yeah.
So I miss it. I'm not going to lie to you. I miss it. You know.
Is being a SWAT, like, I don't know, do you feel like you're more in danger when you're...
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, because
you have more, like, gear on, though, don't you?
you do. They give you a higher level of vest to use, but you have to look at the type of person that you're confronting as well. They're also at a higher elevated risk, and you know, it just takes a simple mistake. And we did a lot of simunition training where we used real guns, but the fake bullets, and guess what? We get hit. If those were real and it was a real scenario, some of those would have been life ending. You know, and so it's not like a video game where you get to press restart. If you make a mistake, it could be fatal, or it can put the rest of the team at risk.
At danger.
Which, yeah, of getting injured, which even puts more pressure on you to
Yeah.
excel and try to really pay attention, you know, to
So
what you're
it
doing.
really is like, if one chain in the whole chain is weak, then it breaks. So the whole team has to be strong and on the same page. And
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, and it's like this. You know, if you have a guy that's on the basketball team and he's not that great, they teach you kind of at this level, help him out to get better.
Yeah.
Well, there, I mean, it's a must because it's people's lives, you know, that are on the line, and both the public's and the officers, you know. So, yeah.
What's the scariest like situation you've been in on the SWAT team? Like,
Or just in
I don't know what
like
they
law
call it.
enforcement in general.
Well-
what's like the scary situation?
I was involved in a shooting where a guy had taken a hostage, and he fired off rounds, and that was pretty scary because the gun that he was using would have gone through our bulletproof vest. And so you kind of reevaluate life, the importance of just the simple things in life. That could have gone really, really wrong. So that's kind of at the top pinnacle.
Yeah, it's
when you hear the
crazy.
live round go off and you see
Yeah.
you see the round eject out of his gun. It's a very humbling experience. Life can be very short.
It's a reality check.
It's a reality check. Yes. Yeah.
We asked you what the scariest experience was. What's the best experience you've had as a cop? Maybe the best day at work you've ever had.
You know, I mean, the best days are when you just have good conversations with good people and they tell you, hey, thanks for doing your job. I really appreciate it. There's a feeling of satisfaction I get from that because I feel like, hey, that person gets it. You know, that person knows that I would sacrifice my life for theirs in a heartbeat. And, you know, I have kids. I have my own family.
Yeah, I got to meet him.
Yeah, that's right. At Zoomies.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a big role that law enforcement plays that, you know, someone like myself or the other school resource officer Sutherland, you know, we're here for you guys. And that means if I have to give my life to save yours, that's what it is, you know, and I'm happy to do it. I don't want to do it. And I feel like when people say, hey, thanks for your service, thanks for what you do, they're seeing really what we do and what is at the core versus thinking about maybe a negative interaction or a traffic stop where they got a ticket. They're seeing the big picture, and that's what makes makes me feel good inside. You know, not, you ask me my best day. That's when I have my best days.
When
So.
you see the people that understand
Yeah,
it.
and I gotta tell you, more this year more than ever in my entire career, I've had more people thank me for my service and thank me for what I do. And you know, I'm humble about it. You know, I work for them. I work for the people. I work for the taxpayers. You know, those people are my bosses.
Mhm.
Is how I look at it. So it's kind of an honor to be able to serve like that. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
We're gonna be going to a segment real quick. So if we could just hold off real quick, we're gonna cut to a student and segment.
Sounds
that we
good.
made.
Let's do it.
Yep. All right.
Hi, my name is Nate, and I'm addicted to putting money in the microwave. Now I'm gonna show you how I do it. I need money. I need money. Is there money in here? I'm gonna name each one off to you because they all have names. This one right here is Carmen. She's a real sweetie. Now come a little closer. Inside, you can see she gets pretty dirty and she sometimes stinks. That's okay. Gets the job done. This one right here is Letitia. She's alright. I use this one sometimes. The money smells real good when I put it in this one. Yeah, it's a little dirty though. This one right here is my favorite. This here is Keisha. I just love the sound when I put the numbers into the microwave like that. Oh my gosh, yes.
My son Nate just keeps putting money in the microwave. It's starting to affect his life. He has no more money left. It's hard to see him go down this road.
I need you to quit your addiction, Nate, because we really need all that money you use in the microwave for gas on the tractor. But we really need a tractor, too.
Yo.
Yeah, what your mother said.
I finally quit my addiction from mommy and daddy. I'm only allowed one microwave, and that's this one right here. I can only put in $1 a week, or I can stuff it with paper towel. This makes it a lot better. I know it's not the same as money, but it still gets the job done.
Welcome back to Charger Chat. I'm here with Nathaniel Ludwig and Officer Wood. We're here doing a show for Getchell, and me and Nate, we filmed that segment. He was addicted to putting money in the microwave. How are you feeling after that, Nate?
I'm less addicted now.
You are? That's
That
good.
that was a fun one to film. So officer, you mentioned that you work here at the school here at Getchell and you're a police officer here. What's your experience with that like?
Oh, it's really positive. I get to interact with a lot of students that have had no interaction with law enforcement. So it's pretty cool to kind of talk with them, get their perception of what law enforcement is, what they think I do. I get asked a lot of hypothetical questions, traffic stop stuff, and so it's cool. I like it.
So what's your role? Are you just talking? Are you just teaching, going to classrooms and teaching students stuff, or just patrolling, or what happens in a day here at Getchell?
Kind of a combination of everything. Like a lot of kids experience things over the weekend, maybe on positive or negative things, and they'll come to me and talk to me about it. I'm responsible for any crime that happens on campus. I get called to that. I try to get into the classrooms and teach when I have the time.
Yeah.
So kind of wear a dual hat, you know, kind of police officer, teacher, counselor, all that kind of combined, and each day is different.
Yeah.
So-
A question about, like, because we're talking about school right now. Like, when we get home, we do homework. Like, I don't know what you do. Do you have homework as a cop, like, after
No.
school? No?
Nope.
What do you do outside of school? Or outside of your
MMA,
job?
train MMA, yeah, and then go to my son's games, basketball, football games, practices, try to go to the gym, that kind of thing, and then do whatever projects I got to do around the house.
How do you like MMA?
I love it. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's
I think I'm built for it, so I might give it a try.
actually you're perfect for Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you're nice and lean, and
Okay.
yeah, that's perfect
Yeah.
frame for it. Yeah.
All right.
How is back on the topic of school? How is it like spending a lot of time at the school compared to being in the city? Is there a large contrast, or what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're in the city, you're kind of like on edge a little bit more, maybe because you got to keep your head on a swivel. You're wearing a uniform in a marked car, and a lot of things that are going on, unfortunately, in this world. Cops being shot at. You know, when you're on patrol, you got the banks. You could be responding to bank alarms, burglary in progress calls, domestic violence calls are high, theft calls. So it's kind of more high intense
Yeah.
versus here. It's a little more relaxed atmosphere.
Definitely.
Not that we're immune to crime and it doesn't happen here on campus, but there is a little more. You're able to relax just a little bit more.
When you started out with the training, did you ever think that you would end up here?
No, I didn't. But I was always involved with programs. There used to be a program where they put cops and high school kids together called Connections, and that was at Warm Beach camp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was like a 3-day thing, and what we did was we played the role of citizens, and we had kids play the role of police officers. So I've always been involved with that, and so it kind of like that led into the school resource job, and I thought, hey, I have a chance to interact and talk with kids and students that they don't generally get to talk to law enforcement. Maybe I can help change some perceptions.
You've been a police officer for so long. Like, when you started, was it like kind of draining? Like, did you get tired pretty easy on the job?
Absolutely. So what happens is when you go to these hot calls, what happens to your body's chemistry is you get a huge adrenaline rush. Well, like science has proven, what goes up must come down. So you'll crash like when you first get started. So you have to know your geography, how to get around town. You got to learn radio procedures. You got to learn officer safety, tactics. You got to learn good report writing. There's so many skill sets that you have to use in the day. By the time, and we work 12-hour shifts, 3 days on, 3 off. So at the end of 12 hours, when you're brand new and you're a rookie and everything is brand new, you're exhausted. You go home and you are drained. Yeah.
So
12 hours,
there's a
that's
lot
crazy.
more to it than people would think. It's not just it's not simple stuff. You always have to be thinking about how you're going to record and report things, like you
Exactly.
said, and how I can totally understand how it'd be exhausting for a rookie because there's so many new things you have to take in.
Absolutely. You think about just from the report writing. Let's say that you guys had to write an essay. Well, is someone that did a crime going to get set free because you didn't do good articulation? Because 8 months down the road, you go to court now, and your report is full of flaws and things you forgot to articulate, and now they get off, and you look at the victim. I mean, imagine how you feel. So
And they could do like more crimes and stuff.
yeah, then it kind of feeds almost that mentality of I got away with it kind of thing, and you feel this responsibility toward the victim to do a good job. So yeah, even just on the level of report writing alone, now you put me in a car and you tell me I have to drive fast and pursue safely and run through red lights. Well, there's a huge liability just in that, in my driving, because that car is 3,000 pounds, and now I'm driving it 60, 80 miles an hour, going in and out of traffic. I mean, it's dangerous. So, lot of pressure and a lot of responsibility.
Like when I see cops doing that, like that's like, I don't know, that's like one of the things that I always looked at. I was like, that's so cool. Like they're so
Yeah.
lucky to do that, but like you don't realize like how dangerous it is. And
It's cool at first until you realize that, you know, these are, like I said, it's not a video game. You can't press reset. So at
Yeah.
first, running code was like, woo, good adrenaline rush. But a huge responsibility and huge liability. Because if you ever hit anybody, or let's say you hit a kid in a crosswalk, you would never forget that. That would be something I could never live down. And you'd always second guess yourself, you know. And so the coolness goes away when you realize the responsibility and the liability that's involved.
So involving being an officer and stuff, how long is your normal shift for you?
Right now, I work 410s, 10.53 hours. So to be here at school majority of the time. So I work Monday through Thursday here. So patrol works 12 hours, 3 days on, 3 off.
yeah.
All right, that's a cool answer. Well, we're gonna go to a quick segment real quick, and then we'll be right back.
That's a cool answer.
Yeah.
Stop talking. Next time I hear you talk, you're gonna get a ticket.
Nice lisp, bro. Are we gonna get a thicket?
You talk one more time, I'm gonna give you another one of these tickets.
I'm gonna give us another ticket, Ryan. He's kidding.
You think I'm kidding?
Yeah, I think
You really think I'm kidding? Fine. Here's an ultra ticket.
You mean Ryan? You know what this means?
Nope.
You can both go to the chocolate factory now.
Three-day suspension for both y'all.
Oh my gosh, my mom is going to kill me if I get suspended. Oh, frick. Me. Oh no.
What? That's ridiculous. Why would anybody even suspend that?
What is going on here?
I'm suspending these young men for talking.
You're suspending them?
Indeed.
I am the hall monitor. You don't get to suspend anyone. In fact, I'm suspending you for 3 days. Oh, 360 freaking no scope. Yeah, dude. Oh my god. You're suspended, boy. That's right. Don't suspend anyone else again.
Charge Chat. I'm Nate, and this is Logan, and we're still with Officer Wood. So officer,
How'd you like that segment? It was kind of like
Yeah.
related to your job. It was a hall monitor. I don't know if you were really paying attention to it, but I don't know. Kind of had fun filming that one.
I didn't really pay attention to it, so I was
Okay.
Looked like you were having a good time.
Yeah, we were. My
That's
hair
what
was
it's all
looking good
about.
that day too, so that really made me happy. But all right, so yeah, question time.
take us through a normal day from the start to the end.
Well, my phone will usually blow up. I have text messages when I start my shift from people that need questions or answers or want to run things by me. So I'll have to return a lot of phone calls in the morning.
Do you normally have to buy a new phone because you said it blows up?
Right? Exactly. No. Fortunately, it's provided by the police department, so they'll replace it if it blows up.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like, today I got a call from Greg Dennis from the service center because we have an incident down on 88th Street and 36th Avenue, so that affects bus routes. So hey, what's going on, kind of thing. I'll get a call from administrators or principals or teachers or principals. Hey, can you be in my office? I have to talk to this student and, you know, talk to him about harassment or, you know, about, I don't know, things going on in his personal life. Can you be there for me today?
Okay.
I'll meet with security. Hey, what's going on? What did you guys hear? You know, we have students that come in and make anonymous reports that I have to look through and see, is there any crime involved? If so, what is it? And just kind of look into it from there. And then usually the day brings its own work for you.
Yeah.
So if there's a quiet time, you can bet there will be a busy time shortly coming
Okay.
down.
I have a question. What do you think about marijuana legalization?
I think it's good.
Okay.
In the sense where I do really feel, and if you look at the history of marijuana, it was in competition with cotton. And so I don't know how much history or what you know about marijuana, but it is a renewable resource. The fibers are awesome as far as clothing and using them as a textile. I do feel that there is a high level of nutrition in the seeds, a lot of omegas and things.
Okay.
And I take those in my protein shake. There's no THC, of course, which is the compound that kind of makes you high.
So you can stay on
Yeah.
the job.
So, yeah, absolutely. But there's some huge benefits to hemp oil is one of the best oils out there for your skin. It's natural. If you look at the history, though, of how hemp was pushed aside because the cotton industry wanted it, it's really interesting. It's something to really look into. There's a lot of documentaries on it. Patents that got quashed because of the cotton industry moving in.
Okay.
I'm for it. I think we need to invest more time and money into looking at our renewable resources
Yeah.
other than the normal ones of just trees and things like that, because I think there is some value in it. Do I think it's great for people to smoke and get high on? No, not necessarily, because that's a coping mechanism that people are doing a lot of times. However, I do think it has its
Other
role in
benefits.
the medical field as
Yeah.
well. Yep. So I think if we're saying, hey, it's okay to prescribe this OxyContin and Percocet and
And all these
these
things.
highly addictive,
Yeah.
chemically addictive things made by big pharmaceutical companies, but you're saying no to what the planet has provided, I think that's an issue. And I think that, you know, I think hemp can be a good thing if it's
Used correctly.
used correctly and properly.
Yeah.
So, on that topic, do you ever have conflicts with like other coworkers or citizens with laws like that? Because there's obviously laws set for all these different substances. Do you ever have like disagreements with other coworkers and things like that? Does that ever create problems?
It doesn't create a problem for me because I've got my own opinions based on my own research and what I've seen in life. Yeah, some of my coworkers feel there's no purpose for it. It's not a good thing. So, has it caused huge conflicts? No, not really, because they're entitled to their opinion as well.
Are you guys like, I don't know, like if you're able to or not, but like as a police, like I know some jobs you're able to like smoke weed or whatever and like still go on the job. Are you police officers able to not like work while high, but I'm saying, are you guys able to?
No, we're not, because it's still illegal from a federal standpoint.
Mhm.
So we're required to obey the laws, including federal laws. So we're not allowed to.
Okay.
And our work has made that very clear. When the marijuana laws got passed recently, our HR department sent out a thing saying, hey, if you work for the city of Marysville, FYI, BT-dub, you still can't smoke weed just because it's legal. So.
All right.
I'm gonna go back to the topic of being a cop at Getchell. I was wondering, is there anything that you've learned, like a major lesson that you've learned from like the students around you, or is there something you learned from being a cop here at the school that you might not have learned if you never came here?
Not necessarily from the school, but I think I've finally learned that a person's perception, whatever they perceive to be the truth, is their reality. So, take me for example. Growing up through high school till my senior year, I hated law enforcement. I believe they were all crooked. I didn't trust them. If you were to try to tell me that law enforcement was necessary, not based on my perception, it wasn't. That was my reality. And that is something I've kind of learned as an overall life lesson. Perception is reality. So whatever people perceive to be the truth, that's what they're going to believe. So.
All right. Well, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks
We're
for
gonna wrap
having me,
it
guys.
up. Thank you guys for watching Charger Chat. This was This was fun. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks again.
It
Yep.
was nice having you.